So I thought it'd be fun, again, you know, kind of what am I going into the woods with this year? Not only kind of document it for me, if I go back and look at this video 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now and go, how was I hunting back then versus how I'm hunting now? But I think it's always a good idea to just see how other people are doing things, take little bits here and there from their system and maybe apply it to yours, or just, you know, kind of get some general ideas on how things are being done you didn't know they were even possible to do that way. It's always good. I think that's always a positive. So this is my saddle setup for this year. It's a lot different than last year, and I think it's been improvements for the most part. I've already hunted a few times in the early archery hunt with this setup, so and so far I've loved it. I'm using the tethered 1 sticks. I love how light they are. I've got 2-step aiders on my first step, and I've got 1-step aiders on my next 2 sticks. They are wrapped in stealth strip, Strata stealth strip. I don't know if you can see that camo. There we go, the lighting's a little better now. Love the stealth strip. I've not had any issues. I've not had issues with the rubber thing sticking in. It is kind of a hassle when you get down out of the tree to get all of these aiders kind of wrapped back up and tied back on and everything. And what I use to attach my aiders to my sticks, these are just little bungees that you can buy like at Walmart. They've got a hook on them. Sometimes you use them for cameras, to attach cameras. I cut the metal like hooks off and I just tied them to themselves. And so now I can put them over my sticks and give them a little stretch, and they keep my aiders kind of organized a little bit. And you can see I've got them down here as well. The only negative on the double aider is I've got this rope, this piece right here. It is a little bit hard when you go to stick these on, when you go to stick these back together. I think it's like that actually. That rubber piece will hit on the one in front. When it's cold out, it's kind of an issue because they don't bend much, they don't give much, but when it's warm out, it's not an issue at all. Super silent and takes just 5 seconds. I've been running those for, I guess, 2 years now. I think this will be the last year, and then I'll upgrade the, either my sticks I'll upgrade, or I'll upgrade the ropes and the aiders, just because, you know, they're getting worn over time, and I don't know how well I trust multiple years of using them over and over. So that's my sticks. I run just the cheapest Walmart knee pads. I actually use the Scentlock saddle suit that has the built-in knee pads when it gets colder, but early season I just run these cheap Walmart Hyper Tough knee pads. They're like 10 bucks. I've been running these for 2 years, and they're just now kind of getting to the point where they're just falling apart, and I really probably ought to get new ones. But they've been really pretty good. I have no issues, no complaints with them at all, and they're really cheap, 10 bucks maybe. I'm sure the tethered ones and the latitude ones are really good as well, but these have lasted, and you can see, you know, they're scuffed up and everything from being against trees. No complaints about them. I'll probably just buy another pair here in a week or two. As you can see, these are starting to get worn out and abused. And it is good to probably refresh these once in a while, because I do feel like, man, you could get sweated down out there sometimes and get some sweat on these outside knee pads, and they get a little funk to them. I don't know that these are really a problem, but it's just probably something good to keep in mind. As far as the saddle I'm using, this is the Lockdown. I guess they've had to rename it because that was trademarked by someone else, but tethered Lockdown. I guess it's called the Ultra Lock, something like that. So we'll get it on and we'll look at what I like and don't like about it. All right, so I've got it on here. I really like the buckle system on it. I've actually camo taped it as well, stealth stripped it as well. It's got snaps down here on the legs. Instead of those orange clips, it actually has snaps, which is nice. Not a deal breaker, not the end of the world, but it's kind of nice to have. This is an XL Lockdown, so it's bigger than what I'm used to running. I'm running on my left hip, I always run my lineman's belt. I'm using the smaller ropes with the Kong Duck this year. I used the bigger ropes for the past forever. So far I really like having these smaller ones. They're just so much easier to pack these away. I used to really mess around with this getting out of the tree in my old saddle setup, but this is always the thing on top when I go to the tree, because it's the first thing around the tree. I keep it attached here to my whatever on my tether, whatever that's called. Next is the lineman's belt, or the tether itself, I mean, sorry, and it is the same small micro whatever ropes, and I have stealth stripped my clips. I haven't stealth stripped the actual carabiner on the Latitude, but I did the Kong Duck I think that's a good thing because it's get kind of tossed around a tree and it's metal, makes some noise. That's all I've got in the big pouch over here. I keep all my climbing stuff on the left side, again, because that's where my lineman belt stays attached, so I just zip that up. The next little pouch, I've got an extra carabiner, and I've got, I think, some compression straps, but I don't ever use those, so I don't really even know why I carry them. But an extra carabiner is always a good idea to have. If you have to go over a limb, you can use your tether as a lineman's belt. So again, just climbing stuff over here. I don't have anything in these outside pouches, but you can see just a ton of storage in here. You've got the ability to have a your pull-up rope if you want to use one of those automatic pull-up hoist things. That's all the left side. The right side is more of my once I get up there type stuff. This actually, they're so big, so I just put my cell phone in here because it's hard to get to your pockets sometimes when you're walking to the through the woods. I'll keep my cell phone in this right pouch. There's so much room in here. But in here, the first thing that you have that you can get to is your pull-up rope, and it stays right on the end of this pouch. And generally, it looks a lot better than this, but I guess the last time I come out of the woods, it didn't get rolled up very good because I was probably in a hurry to get out of the woods. This is just a real skinny, small, cheap one. I don't worry about it too much. It gets some knots in it from time to time, but it's not really a deal breaker for me. I love how you can just make them real small and just toss them in here. The next thing, which is the next thing that comes out of here every time, is my strap around the tree. His strap, I guess is what they call this one. It's just pretty simple. I use these rubber hawk hooks for my bow holder. It's coated in rubber. I love the ability to, you know, it's not going to make any noise. Works great. I've actually got these 9, I think they're called a 9 carabiner or something like that. You get them from Walmart. I've covered it in stealth strip, so there's both of them, and they're both in stealth strip. The problem I'd have is when I pull them out, they would all bang against each other. These two would, and so they'd make some noise, and then this little clip is also metal. So if I hit it just right, I get some metal. But I wrapped these in stealth strip. I have a lot less noise now, and it seems to be a big benefit. And anyway, that would go on the tree. Next thing out, if I need it, which I haven't even used it yet this year, is the MVP, which is just a back band. So if you're in the tree for a long time, throw this on, you can kind of lean back, and this will keep the pressure off of your hips and your waist, and put some more onto your back, kind of balance that out. It's a really cool strap. A lot of times I put my knees against the tree, and this will go around the back of my knees. It keeps my knees from falling out and me, going into the tree. So the MVP is a well worthwhile thing, especially when you do longer sits. If you're just doing a couple hours, like early season, it's hot. I'm not getting out there and sitting for 3 or 4 hours. I just want to get a couple hours right at dusk, mainly just to get in as it's getting dusk and hunt that last light. So I don't use it a ton right now, but I will as the season goes on. And I've got my little headlamp. I think having a small headlamp that A, fits in these pouches good, and B, doesn't just put a ton of light off, is a pretty big advantage. This is just a cheap Energizer. It uses some AAAs. Keep this in there for the walk out. Pretty basic stuff, and it's so big that I could have plenty more stuff in here if I wanted to. The next thing on the pouch is this little thing here. I've got my wind checker here. I just use these, I don't know what they're even called, floaters, wind floaters from Phase, something like that. You can get them on Amazon. I think they're $10. Walmart may even carry them now. That's all I've got in there. I normally put a pocket knife in there on my way out. I'll shove a pocket knife in there. I don't have anything in these outside pouches over here. This upper, I forget what they even call these little straps. They're amazing. You should have these if you don't. I actually had some just cheapo Amazon, like Dickies brand straps on my last one, and it was really nice. So I love the pouches. The problem I have, one of the problems I have, is I usually had a spot right in here to hang these S-beaner looking things, and these S-beaner looking things, if I can get one off, is how I would attach my sticks when I would climb up. So every stick has a little bit of, there's a little piece of paracord on there. I've used zip ties before too. They work good too. Sometimes they work better, but I've got a little paracord on each one, and you can just clip that on there one at a time, and I've got one in the back as well. The problem is these pouches are so big that if I put it behind the pouch, I can't, like, it's either going to hit the one in the middle and have all three of them back here banging into each other, or I've got to have one up here in front kind of in my way as I'm climbing the tree. It's not the end of the world, but I've attached mine right here. So I've got one hanging off of each in the front of this. I could put it down here on the actual, there's molly loops on the pouches themselves, but it literally drags the floor when I walk with them because I'm not that tall. So, you know, that's the pros and cons. The only con is because of where these are, I can't get a molly loop in here. I wish there was a way to have molly loops on top of this. I know it would make much sense, but if there was molly loops up here, then I could just clip this S-beaner on here, and the only use I would have would be for when my sticks are hanging off straight off to the side instead of in the front. But again, they didn't ask me when I made it, but I think that would be a cool feature if you had like molly webbing here and all the way around the back, because you have it on the back anyway. If it was right here as well, I could have an S-beaner there, have my sticks hanging off the side, and have less stuff here in front of me with all this other stuff going on. But this is a very comfortable saddle, this lockdown. You got the ability to make the back extend. So when you get up there, if you're hunting for a while, you get tired of just the pressure where it's at, you can adjust this and kind of lengthen this out. You've got some, you know, the saddle can be up tight or you can pull that on down. Latitude runs a similar setup. This one actually has come off, but I need to fix it. But you know, it's a very comfortable saddle. I have no complaints about it. I've only hunted out of it a handful of times, but every time I've been in it, I do feel it's way more comfortable than my old Tether Phantom. I really enjoy it. So that's my saddle, that's my sticks, knee pads. I can't complain about anything right now that I've got. You know, that's everything I've got and I love. Let me know in the comments what you're using this year. I think the Latitude setup's a pretty cool setup. The sticks that they've got are light. I haven't used them, but buddies of mine have them. I've held them and used them. I think they're really cool. I think Latitude saddle is really cool. I've looked at some of the others, the cruisers and stuff like that, and they seem really cool. I just can't justify buying that over the Tethrd. So if you've got another one you're using, there's some small companies like Buzzard Roost and Texas something maybe that seem really cool, but I don't know enough about them, and maybe their marketing campaign isn't quite as strong as Tethrd and Latitude, and maybe that's the reason. But let me know in the comments what you're using, pros and cons. Have you checked out the lockdown? Do you use the Tethrd one sticks? What are you doing for knee pads? That's another thing. I used to carry a pad up and stick the pad on the tree. Just don't do that anymore. It's one more thing I had to get out and carry on. I just want to be able to get up in the tree and get set and get ready to hunt, so I don't use knee pads, or I use knee pads instead of an actual pad across the tree anymore. Appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, stick around. I put videos out every week. I put a short out every single day on Instagram and YouTube. So, and they're just silly, funny nonsense, but I think, you know, it's kind of something to just start your day with. I put them out early, 5 a.m. every morning, so you can kind of start your day with just kind of a funny hunting reel, because that's what we're all thinking about every day at work anyway. So I got a lot of stuff coming, so stick around, like, subscribe, check out my eBay store, check out bowcrew.com, use RRWoods at 20. Thank you for watching.